So I learned how to code for free online, and I know that sounds weird as I have a computer science degree, but that's not actually where I learned how to code. To be honest with you, I remember my time at uni, coding just looked like, gibberish. I just could not wrap my head around it. And I did any module to avoid the programming modules, and um, those other modules were able to carry my grade uh, overall. The way I actually learned how to code was online for free. And I'm going to talk about my experience and tell you that it's possible for you to learn how to code for free and you don't need a computer science degree. Um, so you might hear that often, but I will say now in 2025, getting a degree is still worth it. I just think it doesn't necessarily need to be in computer science. It could be in anything, even just STEM related in general, just to show that you kind of have that kind of problem solving mindset and that problem solving ability to be able to solve things step by step logically and in that type of way. But I know there are a lot of roles out there who don't require any degree or even any STEM degree. But from the roles that I've been looking for, a lot of them do require some sort of STEM degree. But that's not what this video is about. This video is talking about how I learned how to code for free, and I'm just going to go through my experiences. So obviously at uni and even at school before, I wasn't really coding at all, and I used to think that you just need to be like some sort of child prodigy or genius coding from young. There's a lot of these old videos that I used to see around on my homepage that showed these kids, making apps and selling them, and I was like, damn, like I cannot understand a single line of code how these kids doing this. And I used to think, oh man, like if I had a kid, then I'll just get him coding from young. Like I think the ship has sailed for me. It's too late now, but it definitely isn't. And I'm gonna break that myth now that coding isn't about like being a genius. You don't really need to be that smart. And to be honest with you, I'm not that smart, and I code for a living. So yeah, pretty average student myself. I'm not like a 10 A stars and went to the top uni. I'm pretty average, but yeah, I think that's another video I'll talk about, and how I was able to get into the industry having my average grades and getting interviews for these big tech companies and whatnot. And yeah, I'll talk about that. And I just want to kind of cover my personal story and the resources I used. So yeah, coming out of uni, like being a graduate, I barely knew how to code. I knew like the very basic stuff, but if you gave me a blank canvas and told me to write some code to do something, I would not be able to do it. And so how I started is I spent a grand total of £0 and 0 pence and $0. I didn't spend a single penny to learn how to code, and you don't need to either. You can, and if that makes you feel like you're going to be way more dedicated on to this new skill you want to learn, sure, go for it. But I will say that you technically do not need to spend a single penny. So yeah, I think the way I started is I just used YouTube. I was watching a bunch of videos and learning the fundamentals on how to code, and this worked great for the first year or two of doing this. And I know that might sound like a shock to you guys, because a lot of these people who talk about how learning how to code always say you can learn to code in 3 months or 4 months. But sorry to pop your bubble, but this is a skill that you kind of need to dedicate a lot more time to, and you won't know everything in 3 4 months. You might know enough to make some programs and do some stuff in 3 4 months, and you might even know enough to land a role, and that's great if you can. But this is a skill that you're going to just be forever learning. There'll always be something that you don't know, and you just need to accept that. Yeah, like there's always going to be a new tool, a new framework, a new language, or whatever it is going to be, and you always just need to keep learning. And it is a great thing in my opinion, because you get to just keep learning, and learning is fun. I sound like a proper neek there, but it is fun to learn and grow and stuff. But yeah, so the problem with that what I was going through was that first year or two is I learned the fundamentals of coding, and I learned these principles, and you know I could read code. I think that is the key differentiator. I was able to look at someone else's code, read it, and understand what is going on there. But what I couldn't do is write code. I didn't know how to actually build things or write my own code when I was put in a situation. And so, let's say I'm working on a project, I can, have the existing IDE, open it up, that existing code base is in my IDE, and I can make a new feature, kind of working with the existing code and seeing how stuff are done in there, and just copy and paste merchant, pasting things around and getting things working. But if you gave me a blank canvas, a blank IDE, I would have no idea what to do. And that it kind of ties into something called tutorial hell, which you probably might have heard. And if you're watching this video, you might have experienced it yourself, because what you end up doing is just wanting to learn things through a video, but not actually getting stuck in. So if this is you, finish the end of this video, but just open up the IDE and just start writing some code. Like you need to just write code yourself, and don't use copy and paste, and don't paste things from an AI. You can use an AI to guide you. So if you're prompting an AI to build up a project, you can tell it, hey, like, I want to make this to-do list app. Can you make me a detailed guide, but don't give me any code snippets? And try your best and fail. Write code that breaks, and let's say even if you have the code, write it yourself and get that muscle memory of you writing the arrow function and you actually learning the syntax as you're going along, because that's how you're going to kind of learn and build confidence slowly. And then I feel like once you build your first project, having not followed a step-by-step guide on YouTube, that's when things are going to start to click and that confidence is going to be there and you actually know how to code, and someone could ask you a question and you can answer it. And if you just do that over and over and over again consistently, you're going to be better than those child prodigy geniuses. It's just hard work beats talent all the time, and you're going to come out stronger. You're going to learn how to code, and you've spent a grand total of £0. So that's my recommendation. I don't think you should waste money. I think what the most money you could spend is maybe you've got like an AI subscription, one of these models you're paying for monthly. Okay, sure, they're like if you want, or like I personally paid about £5 for a domain, and hosted my project on a nice domain. That for me was worth it. But other than that, if you just stay disciplined, you can learn to code without spending any money, and that is just the beauty of this community we've got online, of people just giving out free resources and basically free game. Definitely get involved, start writing how to code, get stuck in, and break out of tutorial hell. Close out these videos and just start writing code, man. That's the only way you're going to learn is writing code yourself and building these projects, which again is going to be a constant theme throughout all these videos I'm making. Is just build. It's going to be the most important part of these stuff. And if anything, I need to stop talking and stop recording this video so I can go and build my project so I can keep learning myself. Let me know if there's any other topics you guys want to cover, and I'll see you in the next one.